Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today we're going to be jumping down into how to use Bitget. This is a fantastic platform for whether you're doing spot trading, swapping between assets, or you can looking at using margin futures accounts and things like that. This is going to be the basics, but it's going to be giving you top level overview of how to use Bitget and everything you're going to need to get started. As I get into the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and don't forget to join us in Discord if you haven't done so already. Okay, let's jump right down into this and get a good look and overview of Bitget. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to do is, of course, load up Bitget. There is a link in the description down below, and if you do use that link, it is an affiliate link. It does help support the channel and the continued growth of everything that we're trying to do here at Cheeky Crypto. So we really do appreciate that. Now, once you've kind of landed on the website, the first thing you're going to have to do is sign up for an account. Depending on the link that you use, there are different levels of bonuses. For example, on this homepage at the bottom here, you can see it says up to $5,000, and I believe that we're currently running up to $8,000 via our link in the description down below. Okay, now when it comes to this, it's staged out. It does depend on how much you deposit and the tasks and the things that you do. But once you've kind of signed up, you will have to kind of go through that and check out kind of rewards that are available to you. It will be subject to the individual. You can maximize it by depositing large sums of cryptocurrency or fiat onto the platform, and obviously completing the various different tasks as well. So it's just worth noting that. Okay, so the first thing you obviously need to do is sign up. There's a sign up button at the top here, and you'd go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the sign up process. It is reasonably straightforward. You can do it with a Google account, you can do it with an Apple account, and there are some restricted countries, so you can use a VPN tool if you have one to kind of move your origin around a little bit. And of course, there's no KYC requirement here until you reach certain thresholds in terms of profitability. So you can always do that at a later date if you need to. Okay, so what I'm going to do is skip ahead and log myself in here, and then we'll come back and we'll start talking about the navigation aspects of Bitget. Okay, so once you are logged in, you will have access to your account and various different things up here in the top right hand corner. So you can obviously dive into that, set up your profile. I'm not going to go through the profile elements in this particular tutorial. I think that's quite self-explanatory. You kind of just put your name in or whatever you're going to be known as, and all that kind of wonderful stuff. You can obviously, of course, do KYC, provide all that kind of information if you want to, up in the top right-hand corner here. You also get the little notification icons up here as well, and again, you can kind of go through and manage all those accordingly. There are different themes, I believe, available here, so I like to have things on the dark theme, as you can kind of tell, but you can obviously change that as well, and kind of suit your own purposes. Now, you can, of course, get the mobile apps as well, so you can hover here and get the QR code, and this is always recommended because this way you're not going to be downloading just, a random Bitget app off of one of the app stores. If you go to the link in the description down below, which is the official Bitget link, scan this QR code up in the top right hand corner, you're going to be directed directly to the correct app, so you don't have to worry about any fake apps gaining access to your account or anything like that. Obviously, other things worth mentioning at this point, make sure you have two-factor authentication as standard. If you're not running two-factor authentication, I urge you guys to really seriously consider that. It is high risk if you do not have two-factor authentication at the bare minimum. There are multi-factor authentications these days for good reason. Okay, so just kind of bear these things in mind, but you can download the app from here and you can use this on your mobile, you can use it on your iPad, for example. One thing I would say though is that it is always in portrait mode on your iPad. You can't go into landscape mode or anything like that. Maybe there'll be a future development where an iPad version of the app will be available. That would be fantastic. But for now, everything's in portrait. I use it on my my iPad and in the web browser here. I don't tend to do it too much on my phone because of the smaller screen size. So it does work on iPad and on iPhone and of course on the web browser here. Okay, so just bear that in mind. That's where you get the QR code, and it's best to kind of go through that route rather than trying to just search for it on the App Store, for example. Okay, let's talk about navigation here for Bitget. Okay, so straight off the bat, there are a lot of various different things worth talking about here when it comes to Bitget. A lot of it is standard across the various different platforms, but if you're completely new, this is going to be incredibly helpful, hopefully. So at the top left-hand corner here, you have the Bitget logo. That just takes you to the homepage. You have this little grid overview. This kind of gives you a bit of an idea as to kind of the various different things that are available. This is where you will find the rewards and all these kind of referral programs, reward center, and that's where you'll find or have access to additional kind of rewards in the sign-up bonuses, etc. So you'd go into the reward center, see what you would need to do to participate for getting the maximum level of rewards available. Okay, obviously you have the proof of reserves, the protection fund, the affiliate program if you want to kind of do that. If you want to do a referral program, you can do that there as well, and a whole host of fantastic things as well. There's promotions and then a support center as well. Everything from FAQs to the verification channel, the feedback, listed application, and so forth, right? Even the academy down there. This is a hugely useful set of resources, so do use those as you need. The next option is buy crypto. This is pretty self-explanatory. This basically allows you to purchase cryptocurrency on the platform, and this is basically an express option, which is to buy crypto with one click. Trading has never been easier. And basically, if you're used to using like a bank card, like a debit card or a credit card to buy your crypto, that is exactly what it is. So it's the same as Binance. It would be the same as Coinbase and all the others. Basically, you'd go in here, you put in your details, and you can go ahead and use your debit card for purchasing whatever cryptocurrency it is that you're looking for. Typically, of course, you usually end up buying a stable coin and then using the stable coin to go in and do some trading. And not all cryptocurrencies can be bought specifically with your bank card. And that's something that is pretty common across the space. Bitget, I think, is actually pretty reasonable, so you'll find quite a lot on there. So do check those out if that's normally how you do it. Then, of course, you've got the P2P. So if you're just looking at person to person, okay, so if you want to buy cryptocurrency directly from someone, then, of course, that's another fantastic way of doing it. And obviously, you can kind of mitigate some of those real kind of issues with banks kind of allowing you to onboard and all that kind of stuff. You then have third-party payments supporting crypto with multiple different fiat currencies. Again, well worth checking out. There's 0% fees on those. And again, you then have bank deposits, which will basically allow you to transfer directly from your bank onto the platform. But again, some banks are blocking transactions. So you'll see what will work, what doesn't work, and you'll find good ways in. Okay, the next area is futures. This is pretty much the bulk of what I tend to use Bitget for, and this is broken down into some key areas. We have USDTM futures, USDCM futures, CoinM futures, grid trading, and demo trading. So at the top, let's talk about this. It's quite self-explanatory. I did a whole video on futures trading, and if you haven't checked that out, you should definitely do so. But this is basically USDT futures trading. Okay, so it basically uses the stablecoin USDT, or formerly known as Tether, and basically using Tether as the collateral for trading against other cryptocurrency assets. Going down one, you have the USDC stablecoin options for futures. So if you're going to be using Circle's USDT or USDC for your trading, then of course you're going to use the USDC futures leverage trading functionality. Then we go to CoinM. This can be confusing for some, but this basically allows you to use your other cryptocurrencies as collateral, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. They could be your collateral rather than the stablecoin of USDC and USDT. Now, these are more complicated. Most people generally avoid these ones because obviously you're using a volatile asset as collateral, and that can be somewhat more dangerous at times. But bear it in mind, this is a useful function if you know what you're doing. I personally don't use this. I much prefer to kind of stick to USDT or USDC. Margin futures, I like to have a stable base to be working from. But again, this has some real good use cases if you're familiar. I'm not going to go into the ins and the outs in this video of CoinM futures, but it has a pretty good use case nonetheless. As we go down into the next option, we have futures grid trading. Futures grid trading essentially is bot trading. Now, this is hit and miss, and generally I find that bot trading works a lot better in a bull market than a bear market. So kind of apply caution if you're going to be looking at the kind of bot trading aspect of these platforms. I personally have not used Bitget's trading bots. I don't know if they are fantastic. I do not know if they are absolute garbage, right? I do not know. So apply caution if you're going to be investigating this. Now, I have used things on KuCoin in terms of their bot trading, and I can categorically say it hasn't performed overly well for me, and that was in a bull market. So kind of keep these things in mind. As we go down to the last option, this is the option that most people should be starting with, and this is demo trading. This is basically allowing you to use the functions of USDTM and USDCM or CoinM futures, but in a demo account. This allows you to test, practice, and work on your strategies without risking any of your own capital. This is the starting place for beginners. Okay, so that's all under the futures option at the top there. We come over into spot. This is pretty self-explanatory as well. Basically, this is where you can buy and hold and withdraw cryptocurrency assets. Okay, normally most are going to be on some form of pair. We talk about USDT pairs a lot. We talk about USDC pairs, Binance BUSD pair, for example, and so forth, right? So essentially what you're doing here is you're trading one asset for another, and you can withdraw those assets, okay? Unlike futures, which are contract based, and basically you're speculating whether the price is going up or going down, spot trading allows you to actually own the assets, unlike futures trading. Okay, so just bear those things in mind. Okay, so spot trading, 0% fees, fantastic deals here on Bitget at the moment. Now you've got spot margin trading. Now this also has 0% fees in terms of the spot trading element, but it does require you to borrow assets in order to actually participate. So again, there's collateral that goes up and you borrow, and then you pay interest on your borrowed rates and so forth. Now this is something that is pretty reasonable. You can do this, but I wouldn't really look at it over a long periods of time, because those fees that you get charged can start to mount up pretty fast, specifically in terms of borrowing large sums of cryptocurrency for trading purposes. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. It's another fantastic way of going without actually using leverage or kind of using the futures elements. You can, of course, use the spot margin trading. Now, as we come down, we have the spot grid trading, as again automatically buying low and selling high. Okay, so basically only really making money when the price goes in the upward direction. So great for a bull market, for example, and sometimes can work well in a bear market, but again tricky to always buy low and sell high. Okay, then we've got mega swap, and if I actually hover back on here, mega swap is kind of similar to a DEX. It allows you to swap between assets very quickly and across chains. Okay, so a really good way of kind of, saying you want to move out of Bitcoin into Cardano, for example. You could go into MegaSwap, swap BTC for ADA, and it'll be very quick, and you can see it all on the screen in a very similar way as a DEX would, except you're not limited to just the single chain. You actually can go across multiple different chains as well. This is actually a new feature of Bitget, and I think it's a fantastic addition, because it does mean that you can kind of control a lot of your assets directly in Bitget here. And yeah, because we're all under the spot header, all of these assets are assets that you would hold, so you can add more in or withdraw them at your leisure, etc. Then we've got the markets, quite self-explanatory. It's going to just show you the charts and what's going on with each different kind of cryptocurrency, whether they're moving up, moving down, and all that kind of stuff. Then, of course, we have the trading elements. And this is basically copy trading. So copy trading is basically you find someone who is trading on Bitget, and you go ahead and follow them. Now, this can be a little bit complicated, but I'll keep it as simple as I can for this purpose of this video. Copy trading essentially is going to be that you find another trader that has set up his account as a copy trader account. You can go ahead and basically follow his trades, and basically every single time he places a trade, you automatically follow what he's doing. Now, if he makes profit, you'll pay him 10% of the profit that you make, and you'll keep 90% of the profit that you make. This basically means that you kind of are on autopilot, but there is someone else actually doing the analysis and essentially going through all of the processes of finding and trading the markets, okay? And so this is a great way of kind of slowly eking into the world of trading by following what someone else is actually doing, essentially. Now we have the leaderboard as well, so you can see who is profitable and who is not profitable overall. Now, not every single trader, in fact, very few, and I would say pretty much 100% of traders are never going to be 100% right, and there will be losses taken on from time to time as well. So just bear that in mind. If you're copying someone else, you are at the mercy of what those people are doing. Then over here we have the trading area. Again, this is strategy trading. So again, strategy strategies, one-click copy strategies and strategy libraries and create strategies and all that kind of stuff. Then at the very end here, we have earnings, where you can basically look at various ways to earn whilst using Bitget as well, from savings to BGB earn and shark fin launch pools and all that kind of stuff. So again, I'm not going to overly talk about those, but it's a great way to kind of, you know, jump down into things. Okay, so that's kind of your overview of a Bitget. There's a lot of things to kind of think about there, but in terms of navigating and the different functionality that Bitget has, there's an awful lot to kind of dive down into. So let's go ahead and just look at a few of these in a little bit more detail. Okay, so to start with, what we'll do is we're going to hop on down into the spot trading area. This is going to be pretty much the basic area that most people are going to want to go into, and this is going to allow you to buy cryptocurrency asset and hold it. Okay, now we have skipped over the whole part about onboarding. You can buy crypto, you can deposit crypto and all that kind of stuff. I do think that's quite self-explanatory, but I am kind of omitting that part out of here, and we're just going to dive down to a few features of Bitget. So under the spot area here, you get 0% on spot trading fees, so you don't have to kind of worry about kind of losing out there. And for the most part, you get this screen presented to you. Now, by default, it usually loads up on Bitcoin to USDT, for example, but you can choose any of these other assets. For example, we can go to USDT pairs, USDC pairs, and so forth. Now, if we just click onto USDT, we can find these, we say XRP, for example, and you can see down at the bottom here, I mean, we can ignore the chart. That's not overly important for spot trading. You usually do your analysis outside of these kind of exchanges. With that being said, though, you do have the ability to do the analysis here if you so chose to do so. Okay, so you have that there. You have your order books here on the right-hand side, your sellers and your buyers, and you can see the current price fluctuations in the middle there. At the bottom here, you have your spot trading. You've got cross 3x and isolated 10x. You don't tend to look at those too much, but that's about margin trading and stuff like that. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about spot trading. Okay, so at the bottom here, we have the limit orders. Okay, and you know, we want to kind of say we want to buy at a specific price, and in which case we would put the price in. We'd put in how much we'd want to kind of buy, essentially. So you know, we can say we want to buy 10,000 XRP, but we only want to pay 30 cents for it. Then we'd go ahead and type those things in there. And then, of course, we'd click on the buy XRP icon. Now, I haven't got any funds in my spot account, so otherwise I would place it, but I can't. So you kind of get the idea, 30 cents there, and you put in the amount that you're looking to buy. Now, that's under limited order. You can, of course, change this drop-down menu here and change it into a market order. That basically just takes the current price as it is over here on the right-hand side, and you can just say, I want to buy X amount of you know, XRP, total USDT value, and then click buy, and that'll buy it straight away, straight where it is right now in terms of market price. And that might push the price up a little bit, might push the price down a little bit. And the same thing applies if you're looking to sell XRP, right? You can do it on a limit order, which basically allows you to put the price in, or you can go ahead and do it on a market order, which basically sells it exactly whatever the price is right now. Now, you can use these order books to help you understand whether the price is going to be moving up. There's a lot of buy orders, for example, that outweigh that of the sell orders, or vice versa. If you're looking to sell XRP, but you want to sell it at a premium price, you can find someone here who might be selling it slightly higher, and then you can go and put their price in and click sell, and then you'll kind of fulfill because you're matching up the order books, essentially. Okay. So lots of ways to kind of run this, but spot trading is pretty typical, pretty easy. And let me know if you're looking for more educational content on how to do it. But it is, there's a lot of content already out there on spot trading. It is quite straightforward. You're looking just to acquire the asset. Once you've got the asset, you can do whatever you want with it, and you can check it out in your assets area by going down into your overview and checking out all the different accounts you've got, a spot account for, and so forth. Now, that's your spot area. Now, under the USDT futures account, this gives you different functionality. This allows you to go long or go short on the market. I did a whole tutorial on this. And again, over this side, you have the limit orders, the market orders, the trading stop orders, and the kind of types of leverage, whether it's isolated or cross, and the type or quantity of leverage all the way up to 125x. That's absolutely insane, but you kind of get the idea. You can go long, go short on the market based on your analysis. Again, I would say that your analysis should be done in TradingView, although you can use these in here. I find that that's limiting in terms of how the size of the screen is, but also on the amount of different indicators. For example, I don't think you can go ahead and add the cheeky SRSI indicator into the chart, for example. Okay, so I tend to do all my analysis in TradingView, then just mirror that across into Bitget. Okay, so essentially it's really simple. I did a whole video on this, so do check that one out if you're looking for more information on that. And obviously we can see here expanded these options out now to USDTM futures, CoinM futures, USDCM futures, and so forth. Right, so the menu does change now. I don't want to go through a lot more of these open menus. I don't think there's a lot for me to really talk about in this video about them specifically. But if you are looking for more details, then do let us know, and we'll try to create more educational content on that. The other thing I do want to kind of jump into is the overview of your assets, because as I said, there are lots of different accounts. Right, here's your spot account, and you can kind of see that right in here. You can see the margin account over here, and you have to kind of go through all of these disclaimers. I've not actually done this yet. Margin account, you'd have your P2P account. Again, I haven't gone into this, so I'll just go ahead and confirm all those conditions, but it's important that you do read those terms and conditions and understand what you've just agreed to. I'm never going to use those, so I'm not going to really care too much about them. Then of course you have your futures account, and you can see everything that's going on in there. You've got your earn account, coupon account, mega swap account, and so forth, right? So you have access to all of those. Now you can of course transfer funds between one of these accounts to the other account by hitting the transfer button. If I go on USDC here, for example, hit transfer, and I can transfer it from spot to P2P, or if I want to go from my USDTM to P2P, I could do that as well, right? So you can move your assets around between accounts, but it is segregated out so that you can have a spot account that's separate to your futures account, and that futures account might also be separate to your P2P account, for example. Okay, so really important that you do understand that you have to move the assets between the accounts that you want to use, and then you can kind of keep them all separate. But it does aggregate everything together, and you can kind of see my $391 that I've got on here at the moment, just up at the top. So it helps you understand, just kind of what's going on and how to kind of navigate the space a little bit. You can go through all your history in here as well, and all that wonderful stuff. So for the most part, it is reasonably quite straightforward and quite simple to use Bitget. But let me know in the comments below if there are any further areas of concern that you kind of want me to dive down into. If you found this video useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Subscribe, join us down in Discord. Until the next one, guys, have a fantastic day.